Around June, the first crowd went to Borneo. They sent some of my unit to Borneo.
I think it wasn't A Force went to Burma.
No, A Force went there to
and
Burma.
then B Force went to.
That was from Singapore. That was from Changi.
Ah, yes.
So I went from Adam Park.
Yes, yes.
They sent from Adam Park. They sent the first crowd went of our mob to Borneo, and with the remainder of us stayed at Adam Park until about November, December, and we got to the jail for Christmas. Had Christmas in Changi, and then in April 43 we went up on F Force to Thailand.
And I think it was just before Anzac Day that you got off at Bampong, was it? About
Could be.
I
couldn't tell you the date now, no idea.
The relevance of why I have a feeling that it was the 23rd of April.
Could be.
And the coincidence is that on the 25th of April was when D and Dunlop Force started digging Konyu cutting. So you would have then started walking north.
Yeah, that's right, that's right.
How far was the walk?
As far as I can remember, about 386 kilometres.
And over how many days?
I can't remember. I think it was about 10 or 14, I think.
Yes.
Can't remember exactly.
Did you have any days of rest?
Do you have any?
Did you have any rest days? On the
No. We used to walk of a night, sleep of a day. That's if they let you, but sure there's something to do.
Now, when did you get associated with Captain Royal Mills?
Right from the early days of the unit,
yes.
In Liverpool and Bathurst.
But were you, when you were walking to
northern
Thailand, were you in company with him?
No, he was ahead of me. He was a train ahead of me. I got no ideas on train 1. I could be wrong,
yes.
but I think I know he was ahead of me. I was on train 6.
Now, I believe that you went, did you go right through to Songkhirai?
No, I went up as far as what we call in those days Shumaniki.
Shimaniki, yes.
Shimaniki.
So that means southern Niki.
Yeah.
And when did you get associated with Pete Hendry?
Oh, right from the unit days. I knew Bathurst and Liverpool.
All right, from Shimaniki, how did you actually end up being Roy Mills' medical orderly?
He was on the same train as I was. Peter and I, we both marched up to the same camp.
Yes.
So we knew each other then.
And I think you mentioned that Peter then sent you back to work with
He
Roy.
sent me back to Roy Mills at Concordia. Roy was short of orderlies, and he wanted 4 second, 10th bucks, so he managed to get. And Peter sent me back with 3 other chaps to Roy Mills. That was back in Concordia.
And who, the other 3 guys, were they all medical orderlies? Or
as far as I know, well, they weren't as well trained as the second, 10th bucks were.
Okay, so you're back with Roy.
Yep.
And as I understand it, you were forced by the Japs to move a number of times.
Yeah, we moved all together 4 or 5 times. 4 I'm sure of, 5 I'm not quite sure.
And what was involved in a move?
Well, pick up everything, our tents, our kitchen gear, our wounded, our sick, our sick, whatever gear we had, whatever supplies we had, take with us, had to move everything.
And of course, when you got to the new camp, did you
have
to
set it up, the reverse, and that happened before.
Yes. Now, what types of illnesses or complaints did you
Well,
witness?
the common ones: malaria, dysentery, beriberi, pellagra, scabies, and then of course the big one, cholera.
Right. So you had. Did you receive quinine from the Japanese?
We got some quinine, not enough, but we did get enough to take the edge off it.
And what about?
Enough to get him back to work, and he got back in the game. It was always scarce, quinine.
It was a vicious cycle, I take it.
Vicious cycle.
And what about cholera injections?
Cholera injections, We had one compulsory. We had cholera injections before we left Singapore, and now we had it once. I know for sure, up on Air Force, but I think there was a second one. I'm not too sure. But I know we had it once.
Now,
but it wasn't enough to stop it, unfortunately.
so how many cholera deaths would you have been associated with or seen in?
Well, to my knowledge alone, the people I nursed, we had over 20, but there's more than that.
Now you were in what was commonly called Pond's party, were you?
Oh, in Colonel Pond's party, yeah.
And he was a full colonel?
He was a full colonel, yeah. He was second to any
And what was how many troops were in that party?
700.
700. So you
one
had
MO for 700.
one MO
for 700.
And his medical orderly.
And his medical orderlies.
And a few others to help
Look
after them. What was Roy's general health like while you were
Well, towards the end it was very, very bad because he was working practically 24 hours a day.
And when you say that, how come he was working such long hours?
Well, there's no one else to do the work, other no one to split the load. I mean, you can't tell them people are going to get ill.
No.
And they had to be on call. Well, sick parades used to start from about 4 o'clock in the morning.
Well, I think that's probably what I was leading to. He would have sick parades before they went out onto the railway.
That's right.
But he'd also have to be up probably as they stumbled back late at night.
Well, apart from the sick parade in the morning, he'd do his rounds in the hospital.
Yes.
And then he'd have another sick parade in the afternoon.
Oh, and when you say hospital, what sort of a facility was that?
Well, the hospital by name is a designation, that's the hospital. It was tents, there's dirt floor, sopping wet, muddy. People lying in mud. If you had a ground sheet, they laid on the ground sheet.
And out of the 700, what do you think your hospital population would have been?
The hospital population?
How many would be in hospital?
Well, I'd say at times it could have been up to 200.
That brings me to another point. Roy actually had some shrapnel removed from his shot. He received shrapnel when
he got hit at Bukatima. There was a barrage going over, and one exploded in the trees, and he got hit in the back. 2 of our drivers were killed. They were sleeping in a truck, and they were killed. Cut to the cabin of the truck, killed the 2 drivers. They were sleeping. And Roy got hit in the back. They took him off to hospital, and he got back to the unit as quick as he could, and he was in St Andrew's Cathedral when they didn't get all the shrapnel out of his back, and this had caused an abscess, and the abscess broke while he was working in St Andrew's Cathedral. And they dressed it up there, and he carried on, and of course then we went away on Air Force. And it was an Air Force, he said to me, he said, "I'll have to get you," he said, "the lance point back." He said, "The strap's still in there." And you could feel it's even quite swollen. And he said, "I'll have to get you to do it for us." Okay, we've got to be done, we have to do it. But fortunately, it did break away and a piece of shrapnel came out. But he had it right through, and practically all the way he was up on Air Force. That shot worried him.
Yes.
And then again, of course, he had malaria, and he also had pneumonia,